Abusan for one sunny, and I see Mutiri be as some cosines. Yes, because I do all the latest nabros and be keep you updated. It's also sake be annual like I share Namaria so heading, and ye be 18 on so who dear could be answer bre. Yet too far the near more parliament house na sabrino. Niama a buffalo hobano. As you see pa. Na Afenyo Markins and Ṣhrëds offer Speaker Bagbin or an Adam for Speaker Bagbin saying only Madam Fu. You are not my friend again. You need this year man basa. You go video na just one year pa. Video to us if you parliament house you be share at us here a year Adwoa Safo. A year important submission be a why your parliament house or no. Or see any na ye share ne kwejiri. Adwoa Safo kasa as a statesman. Why join a political party na to and work as a state person. So right now Adwoa Safo chese. Parliament I said a see go manum no omuntimi mfanka. And no my year mo sana ada a year arms of government Akroma and omuntimi yomadwuma yi. Oka auditor general report be abatabonti ne munsem enwanwaye papa information about say this government move for be $11.70 million just for unknown work done yehu adwuma ne yenye ene etua se scan so yini be afa time papa so Adwoa Safo ka say I was saying from ye saying I was see a prosecution say punishment be say J grandpa I was see jail or munina or no anka so call on attorney general Godfrey Dam say onye na dwuma ye Adwoa Safo so NPP new Godfrey Dam so NPP new watch as onye na dwuma ye because the way amount for see looting him and Dawson. This is the time I was a parliament here then retrieving Niema ye name say Adwoa Safo person waka akofo do oral team ne odi we don't know yenkoni nkoti then go ahead there koso.
Honorable Majority Leader,
he's my friend, you know.
But this place is not a place for friends.
We speak the same language, and sometimes people don't understand us. So we're communicating something in the Futu and in Zema. The speaker, I'm also an Anlo man, as you may know.
Well, I don't know who you are, but
Mr. Speaker,
if it is a Futu and Nzema, they are both from the Guan, ethnic group. So yes. I understand that one.
Yes. Mr.
Now,
Speaker, that is it. A Futu and Nzema, they are part of that group of, you know, Mr. Speaker, as you rightly mentioned.
Yes, the Guans.
That is my mother's side. And then my father's side is Anlo. You know already. When Nzema people speak, I can understand in a Futu. When the Seshu people also speak, I understand. It's the Seshu language and the Futu language. They're almost the same. But just because some people say they are Akan, some say Guan. Because Damboche's area, they are all Guan. When they speak the Enum, I understand. When the Seshu people speak, I understand. When the Nzemes also speak, except the 8888, which is different from a Futu. But all others, I can understand. Some people say they are Akans, others say they are Guans. Honorable Mokofibo is here. He should tell us, is he an Akan or a Guan?
Speaker, Honorable Member for Dombe Kwabinya.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity to comment on the report ably laid by the chairman of the Public Accounts Committee and seconded by his able ranking member. The Speaker, the Public Accounts Committee, year in, year out, considers the report of the Auditor General. And the Auditor General points out certain irregularities that the institutions in question might have either omitted to do or have done in contravention with certain laws of this land. Mr. Speaker, many a times we have been criticized by the public that the Public Accounts Committee sits, we make recommendations on the floor, and there's no such power given us or given the Auditor General to surcharge. But indeed, we have those powers. The report comes on the floor, we debate it, and people think that we leave it at that. So, Mr. Speaker, I see my chairman looking at me. I have served on the committee with him since I entered Parliament in 2013. But with respect to this report, I want to refer, Mr. Speaker, to page 6 of the report, column 614, or item 614, which relates to procurement irregularities. Mr. Speaker, with your permission, it states, these irregularities occurred as a result of management non-compliance with the Public Procurement Act. Mr. Speaker, we see this every year, and we shouldn't politicize it as to whether who is in power or who is out of power. It keeps reoccurring. So what do we ask ourselves as a parliament, as a country? We have enacted laws to govern certain spheres of our operations. Why do public officers find it so difficult to comply? Mr. Speaker, when you're going for tender and
Yes, Honourable Member, just a minute. Honourable Members, the second Deputy Speaker to take the chair. Yes, you may continue.
When the process of tendering begins, you are supposed to ask for or apply for certain approvals. You are not able to do it. The law even allows you the room to go for retrospective approval. You still find people, even when they've done the act, to go and formalize the act and regularize it. In the report, we are being told that we have some institutions who just did not care and think they can flout the laws of this country. Mr. Speaker, public procurement is very important in our governance process. We ought to make sure that the people put in certain institutions are made to follow the laws. Mr. Speaker, politicians are, attacked. Politicians are attacked. But when it comes to public officials, they sit in the offices. They are supposed to be meticulous and do the right things. They are the ones you find their names in the Auditor General's report. Sometimes they overpay. Sometimes they purchase from companies that are not registered with VAT and have VAT receipts. Mr. Speaker, we cannot continue overlooking these malpractices and irregularities. And I think that after the work of the Public Accounts Committee, those who ought to be surcharged must be surcharged. Those who ought to be arraigned before court for flouting the law should be put before court to face the full rigors of the law. Mr. Speaker, again on page 8, we are told in item 812 that there were huge amounts of tariff debts. Mr. Speaker?
Yes.
Okay. I thought you were asking of the motion that is being moved.
No, go on.
Okay. So again, Mr. Speaker, I draw your attention to item 812 on page 8. Mr. Speaker, a clear violation of the Public Financial Management Act 2016, Act 912. Mr. Speaker, the committee, we are told, noted huge amounts that ought to be recovered, but were not. And they have listed a number of those tariffs and the institutions that flouted the Public Financial Management Act. The same much, this is a very bulky report. It tells us the extent of irregularities. It's named all the institutions. I see GNPC, I see Buidam, the Ministry of Finance, and it goes on and on. But I think, Mr. Speaker, these things keep reoccurring because after this report is debated on the floor, we leave it at that. We need to ensure that the powers giving the Attorney General and the Auditor General to proceed and the Attorney General to prosecute is actually carried out. If it had been a politician, a member of parliament on our side or here, we'll see the outcry for them to be arraigned before a proper court for due process to take its course. But we leave our public servants and our civil servants, and they consistently and yearly flout these laws. I think that gone are the days when they refer to the Public Accounts Committee and Parliament as having a teeth that can't bite. We should start biting. And I can see that not in this report, but in another report, a reduction actually in procurement violation, because the committee ensured that the room that is provided us under the Public Procurement Act to go for retrospective approvals, we were so strict on it, go for these approvals. And we've seen that the violations are minimizing. So I end my statement or my contribution on this particular report by saying that, Mr. Speaker, whether it is overpayment of salaries, whether it's procurement irregularities or malpractices or whatever that we capture in a report, we shouldn't leave it at that. Post Public Accounts Committee, post debate on the floor, the committee should follow up, Parliament should follow up with the Office of the Auditor General, Office of the Attorney General. What has been done with respect to these things? Once we start prosecuting, once we start punishing those ones who commit these offenses and violate our laws, the laws that we make here, they brought us here as members of Parliament. We've promulgated laws. They whether recklessly, just decide not to follow these laws. We have to start biting as a Parliament.
For a year, dress of an attending canoe. I was seeing a boy in Seman, or a dear papa, wa casa papa. We see or number one, we see a dress of or because it's when NPP ni beam, you say one or no, Domiquabinia, NPP for Lucy. He's a dresser for any position be a NPP mo. Because Michael Quay and is a more NPPPC or Domiquabinia. A dresser for any position be our gun high beam. And it is no or Casa as a Ghanaian or Casa as a politician. Nisam no kind of Nyansa wompa. Or say, I didn't in a parliament house, but when we Auditor General ba no baking kind in yama. Oh, I go father, I go ye say, or discussing our career juma room. Ye whom may be a discanafa, a year Bank of Ghana for discussing our query, meaning a scanner is senior mono, ye must say scan of cramponiano creomedi. Oh, a year ECG4, Sisias is speaking, no, he said, no discovery a koto yaba, your correas had the chronocrampo in seal. No, I can kind of ting. No, my sign, no, I can catch a parliament house. Now, parliamentarians were debating. I was saying, I was a court, anything, no, Maki can go. I dare chairs. Oh, correction of vote and proceedings, standing order. No matter I can't for. Aha, Minister for Airline and Natural Resources, also by kind of the Nyan Nadia, or my can you drum no a chum. no investigation, no punishment, and no I say omadwale abetana no makasa, no ma debate, no mukofi, the same thing another day, no ma repeat it. And now dress of any statement now or kind of make a cancer mono or kind of brofo tea the battery. So as we speak, it's here honorable address for in some more kind of year or say. A year auditor general report a cases a hold or dear back and crofo my rear gun sika and crofo my de gun sika ye near me be a ensign fatano. My young king kind keke in Jahonko. There must be a thorough investigation. I was sep committee number no committee need the report in about inequality JPB keke near Bekan report near Jahoko near another committee near Zabekin. And yet Emma Ghana Kunini. Or so called Parliament House 2013. If it is called Parliament House, no, the same thing on my basis, I bring no punishment, no my backing kind, no my big jaw report, no more from 2013 to date. Or moon who say Parliament House, I punish you be a down on echo. Or who say Parliament, I punish you be a the same report, not just a my backing kind, no more, not just a finance minister sign, no more discovery. The same thing on my basis, I bring. So right now, I draw for a Kesi. This is the time I will say Attorney General or acting. She said, Auditor General, I could investigation. Wabra ko yi ni hwehwe mu nyina wi. Sika ekom ni sika ketwa. O yi wi a. Then I was say Attorney General so ye. O say prosecuting crofo a omudidi wo eniema ensem fatani. Ndi omko court na punishment bi ese de mom no. Ye de mom. Yes, a tight and a bed house, no, she could not go his a cooler be a bigina camera nim. Now, Casacas said, we are seeing him gaining a good trim. And a Ghana for petty. Dear Ghana for a penny say. This is the time I will say any action be I was taking place and I was taking action. Whether NPP, whether NDC, whether political party ben or in power, or says how political party and making sure say, and found was sending money per 87 questions, or say I'm running it because and no be Korea body cracker, I'm running it with madam bear 10 years. Now, na obi we $11 million. Nyanya fee $11 million it me to body adan or position our she court adan we would DBSC address Afenyo bro na ni abre papa ye nyina nim se nche bia na mahama so etin oral team bi chese omo meaning ni nyina ne say operation recover all loot sa nkrofo no ene begigi niam nkrofo ya fa Ghana for no begigi ni nyina say yensa say gold say sika every asset bia na say property bi o mafa bia no they are going to recover everything for Ghana. So yeah, pointing nkrofo bi dada na so ti adwasa focus ani ma see say opeso kasa atimi ne ho krampo. As if they were share Muhammad Manas Cṛimiʳaḻitieṣ or made Mana Fuamano. Despite so free a year NPP mono, while last year Attorney General, I'll last year a year Parliament House when the NPP for any NDC for while last year Mujina. Say, may be on my year for so longer, it doesn't make sense back okra. It doesn't make sense. They have teeth, but they can't bite. And other arms of government, and Akroma shame, and no more the airbrain. So if say they can't investigate, they can't punish there, or say who here, then be who here some about King can be because he here because Obe say adaje 2 hours, 3 hours, near tea report 4 hours, 5 hours, near the can be coffee, adaje 6 hours, 7, 8 hours, then just yet to just basa without any punishment be who here so Mosa say Ghana for sika esa ko investigation a church investigation and yama mbina no ma be king can change for so be in so because answer no auditor general boss ebitimi aye investigation or say aban side it trust gamano or bitimi dey acquire investigation. First of all nipa na wi Ghana sika ya punishment. Second of all ya spending Ghana for sika akwa investigation and for so be so two troubles, two idea so financial loss to the state. I just say Safo are listening in just any answer. Why idea or deserve some accolades. I was here boy and some man say what imagine Parliament House I timing. I can't dream answer home society actually. I have Afenyo Markins no on this speaker back and forth on so no you who are just speaker a good animal see I just saying answer Papa we answer more. It is a rebate match Adwoa under the comment section, subscribe and share. Then my only answer in your binti no so who you could be a person.